eBEFOREi video reviews, here to bring you a review on Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Powerizers Bulkhead. Now, this is a very controversial figure because a lot of people compare this version of Bulkhead to the first edition version of Bulkhead. Now, I don't have the first edition version of Bulkhead, and to me, knowing that he is going to come back out as a re-release, as a Toys R Us exclusive, I am not paying the money. I'm just not going to do it for the first edition. So the question remains, does this one serve as a serviceable version of Bulkhead in your collection while you wait on something that potentially could be better? Should you spend your money on this guy, or should you just leave him on the shelf and not worry about it? Well, I'm here to tell you that I really do think that this guy is worth the $19.99 retail. Is he worth $40? No. Is he worth $60? No. $20? Yes. I think you'd make a fine purchase here in the Voyager edition Bulkhead in Transformers Prime RiD line. Now, let's take a look at him. This is Bulkhead in his vehicle mode, and he's very detailed. He's got a lot of nice detail in him. Now, what I'm noticing is the Transformers Fall of Cybertron toys have a lot of in-plastic molding of very detailed robotic type parts, and the Prime line does not have that. But that being said, he still has a few things on here that are nice touches, like the door handle molded in, the gas tank molded into the back, which they didn't have to do, but they did, and that's cool. He's got red painted taillights. Nothing painted in the back, not much paint on this figure really overall. Nothing in the wheels. He's got dark paint on the windows. Would have been nice to be translucent or a clear plastic, but I understand why they didn't, the way this transforms. You do have some of the molding in the plastic in the front clear windshield, which again is pretty neat. I like that. And yeah, and painted front headlights. So I think that overall, this is a very nice looking vehicle and actually represents the character on Transformers Prime Bulkhead very well. I mean, I think he looks good. So I give high scores to the vehicle mode of Bulkhead. Now, you can kind of see all this junk hanging out of the bottom. And if you flip him over, he looks like a, I mean, you know, it's not obvious that, I'm kind of backtracking here. I say it's not obvious it's a robot. Clearly there's leg-type things, but have you ever looked underneath the car like a real vehicle? There's a bunch of junk hanging down. So nothing here screams, that is a robot. You know what I mean? So yes, there's a bunch of junk under here, but to me it doesn't kill the look of this vehicle. And how often are you playing like this? Probably never. So anyway, this is the vehicle. I think it looks great, and I give high scores to this. Now, the weapons that he comes with, I don't think Hasbro watches any of these reviews, because if they did, they would stop making these things. Is it cool to flick Bulkhead's weapon? Yes, it's a little bit cool. It is absolutely not the reason that anyone purchased this toy. No one bought him to flick this ball. No one did. These toys don't need the gimmicks. Take the money that you spent on these gimmicks and put them into the toy, because the toy is the gimmick. He transforms from a truck into a robot. That is your gimmick. This, unnecessary. You got a light in here that doesn't work. I guess the ball sort of lights up, but I mean, half these things, they don't work. So, and it's just kind of a waste of plastic to me. So, and really, and I'll say this, if there was a way that you could push this thing out and let it lock into place, I would probably hate this a lot less, and all the RiD weaponizer weapons. But as is, where you can't extend this thing out on any of these toys without modifying or taking the spring out or cracking plastic or gluing, I mean, it's just ridiculous. So I'm not a fan of this, and I'm going to chunk that away. He also comes with this battering ram, which I do think is neat. It's just it's a weapon that you use to pulverize things. Some nice plastic mold detail. And this thing you can peg right up here on top. I don't know why you would do that. It's not like he's going to be driving down the road and flip over and yeah, I mean, I just don't get that. So anyway, it's kind of silly if I look at it like that. But as a robot, it makes a decent weapon. Enough talk. Let's get this guy transformed into robot mode and see if it's worth your money. Like, you know, I kind of think he might be. To transform Bulkhead, what you first want to do is it really becomes a method of taking things and kind of unfolding it. So what you want to do to help ease things up is you grab this back wheel and you just pull it up. So you make wings out of this guy. Okay? So now you've got that done. You can come around underneath the vehicle and you can pull these arms kind of out like that and get them out to the side just a little bit to prepare for later. You want to come down to what become the feet and pull these down. Again, a lot of pulling things out on this vehicle. So you've got this kind of ratchety joint in here, and you're just going to pull that down as far as you can. It doesn't go all the way down. If you pull too far, you're going to break this toy, and I don't think you want to do that. So after you get his feet down, okay, you want to twist these things around. Twist, just like that. And you want to go ahead and build his foot. So to do that, you bring this plastic piece down, it locks into place, and then you bring this this gray plastic bit up, which becomes his foot. Do the same thing on the other side, bring that down, bring up the plastic, everything tabs and locks into place. So now to continue, you want to come around here to the back, and you have his arms here. You want to basically get all these little robot bits out of the way. And you've got these side windows, which you're going to use as his shoulder pads. So you want to absolutely get these things out and out of the way. Just kind of hold them up here like that. And do the same thing to the other side. Just stick them up. That's fine for now. You want to take these front side doors and you want to move these around so you get them ready. You're going to bring the whole front bumper section, or the front hood, and you're going to just bring it down like that. Okay? If you push, it's going to slide into place. You'll hear the snap, and you're good there. All right, coming back around to the arms, you're going to pull them out, just like that. Just pull them out. All right. Then what you're going to do is you're going to flip open his head, which is right here. Just take your finger in there, flip it. Hello, Bulkhead. You've got Bulkhead's head right there. And to get these front panels kind of out of the way, you can slot them. All right, we're getting close here, guys. Now what you want to do is you want to take these little side windows that you pulled out, and these things are on ball joints. Okay, so you're going to want to get them turned around and slotted over the shoulder area, just like that. You want to do the same thing on the other side. Open these things up, flip it around, and it kind of butterflies, so you want to get your thumb in there and just open it. Stick it over the arm, bring the arm down. Now, his fists are curled up into a little ball. Just flip those out. The instructions have you with Bulkhead moving his chest pieces basically all the way up front. To me, that looks a little bit dorky. So to get this guy filled out, which is part of the problem with this figure, but to fill him out as good as you can, I like to just bring those things off to the side like that. Okay? Now his arm, you know, again, it's completely up to you what you want to do with it. You can bend him here at the shoulder joint and then bend him again here at the wrist to kind of make this fist pump look like he's mad about something. And then you can bulk him up here on the other side and get a fairly decent pose out of Bulkhead. So that is Bulkhead in his completed robot mode. Now, again, when I see pictures of First Edition looks far and away like a figure that, you know, Hasbro really spent some serious time on to get him to look as show accurate as possible. The only thing that's really show accurate on this figure to me is his head. And he has this little chin guard that moves up and down. Let's see if we can get that done here. Yep, you can have him eat his own face if you choose to. You can bring it down. You can kind of expose his mouth there. But if you put it just like that, I think it looks great. It looks just like the TV show. And so I think his head sculpt looks fantastic. Now his back, there are some problems here. First of all, you've got all these little holy gap things back here. And these wings. Bulkhead does not have wings on the TV show. What I found that I like to do with this toy is, and this is just me, you can do what you want, but I like taking his back and kind of opening him up like that. Now again, I get it. It kind of makes him look even more like he has wings, but it also kind of makes his overall stature a bit more rounded. Which is what you want in a bulkhead. You know, he's kind of a rounded off kind of guy. So so again, to me, that's what I like to do with my figure. Now going back to the weapons, you have this thing right here that you can plug into his fist, and you know, he can pow you with it right into your face, right there. Yeah, he can do that if you want him to do that. You can also peg it up here on his arm, so it kind of ends up being like an accessory, like a sidearm deal. Not bad. I don't hate that. Looking at this guy up close, again, his head sculpt I think is really the thing that sets this toy apart for me. I think he looks really good as Bulkhead. I think that face looks great. He's got some molding on the inside of the doors here, which is nice, because if you're going to give us some crappy things sticking up, at least make them look good. I do like the big red Autobot painted symbol right there. I think that looks great. Bulkhead's light piping. He's got some. Doesn't come across real well, but you can get his eyes to glow a bit blue if you choose to. And you know, articulation, you can get some decent poses out of him. His head's on a ball joint. His shoulder pads are on a ball joint. His arms fully rotate, both here in the black plastic joint, here in the shoulder, right there in the forearm, and then he has a joint here on the elbow itself. So he's got a lot of arm articulation. His legs bend at the knees. He's limited a bit by how far you can put his leg up because of this blocky portion up underneath Bulkhead. You can have him do some very silly, ridiculous poses like that. So you know, he's posable. Now, as I'm sitting here doing this review, you know, I went into this going, you know, I kind of like this toy, and as I'm sitting here reviewing him and looking at him on camera, yeah, he doesn't come across great in pictures and on video cameras. He just doesn't. If I were watching this review, I probably would pass on this toy. Having him in hand, I like him a lot. I think he looks good on my shelf. Again, I don't have a first edition, so having him standing next to, you know, Optimus Prime, you know, I think that these guys are good together. I really do. And I like this version of Optimus Prime, despite this little backpack here. We'll talk about that on another review. But Bulkhead looks good on your shelf. He looks good in your hand. Doesn't come across so well on pictures and in videos, but you just have to, if you want my opinion, I think this guy is good. I think he's worth $20. The first edition, to me, everything I've seen, looks far superior. If I were you, I would not run out and purchase first edition because, again, these guys are going to be released at Toys R Us at retail price. I'm expecting to pay between $20 and $25 for first edition Bulkhead, not the $50 and $60 that you see him, or more, that you see him for sale now on places like eBay. So that's really all I have to say about the figure. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate every single one of you that clicks to view these videos. It means a lot to me. Brand new channel. We're just over a month old right now, and I appreciate all the support that I've gotten. And thank you so much. Please subscribe to support this channel if you like what you're seeing, and we'll be back very soon. Thanks for watching.